Today on Newsbytes, who is Newsom meeting in China? Middle East tensions rising, and say hello to Speaker Johnson. Stick around for these bites and more, all on today's Newsbytes. Okay, real fast, Republican Mike Johnson from Louisiana is unanimously elected as the 56th Speaker of the U.S. House of Reps by the 220 voting Republicans. There was mounting pressure from the government to select a Speaker as the House needs to pass spending by November 17th to keep the federal government running, with added pressure from Biden and the military to approve more emergency security funding for Ukraine and Israel. Johnson even said the first bill he'll bring to the floor is support for Israel. All right, here's the latest. Biden's rift with progressives and younger Democrats widens. They may sit out the 2024 election or support a third-party candidate due to his strong backing of Israel, citing colonialism and imperialism narratives over Israel and Palestine. Also, hundreds of Democrat staffers have criticized Biden's refusal to call for an immediate ceasefire. This comes as rhetoric and troop movements show an escalation in the conflict that may involve Iran. France sends their hospital ship to Gaza and Israel, with Israel agreeing to delay a ground invasion of Gaza so the Pentagon can move more, quote, air defense systems to the Middle East region. The USS Ford sits near Hezbollah-influenced Lebanon, and the USS Eisenhower is moving to the Gulf next to Iran. Okay, this comes as Netenyahu today gave a speech confirming the nature of Israel's conflict, one of dark and light, good and evil, a holy war, which also involves Iran. Watch.
Our war against Hamas is a test for all of humanity. It is a struggle between the axis of evil of Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas, and the axis of freedom and progress. We are the people of the light. They are the people of darkness, and light shall triumph over darkness.
Okay, here's the story. California Governor Newsom had a surprise meeting with China's Xi Jinping during a visit to China. Newsom, leading the U.S.'s largest state economy, which receives nearly all Chinese imports, received a warm welcome in contrast to U.S. Republican Senator Jeff Wilson's visit to China last week, which wasn't so warm. He was arrested for landing with a gun in Hong Kong. Newsom, however, says he's pushing for climate cooperation on the week-long trip, also discussing fentanyl, Taiwan, and human rights with Chinese officials, topics of which the Chinese have some of the worst track records on. For example, China shipping fentanyl and precursors to Mexican cartels and an opium war rebuke on the West. Newsom also expressed support for the One China policy regarding Taiwan, i.e., supports a Chinese takeover of Taiwan. Some eye Newsom as a future presidential contender. All right, in case you missed it today, Biden spoke to the press and accidentally thanked Palestine and excused himself, then delinked Palestine from Hamas, and then closed with a railroad across the Middle East comment. Take a listen.
I want to thank the Israelis and the Palestinian, and President Sisi of Egypt. We also have to remember that Hamas does not represent, let me say it again, Hamas does not represent the vast majority of the Palestinian people on the Gaza Strip or anywhere else. We want to, for example, at the G20, we were able to act on a proposal I had to build a railroad all the way from Riyadh all the way through the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Israel, up through Greece, and then across not the railroad, but pipeline across the Mediterranean up into Europe.
Okay, Chinese scientists discovered 8 new viruses in rodents on the island of Hainan, including a coronavirus, and are now testing with them in labs. The study was funded by the Chinese government and published in a journal linked to the Chinese state. One of the new viruses is a beta coronavirus, the same family as the COVID-19 virus. The researchers said the new viruses have a high probability of infecting humans if they cross between species. Some are concerned, as evidence suggests COVID-19 emerged from the Chinese Wuhan lab, not zoonotics. Those are today's bites, which are on our website at Disclose.tv. Subscribe and leave those comments below.